Do you ever wish you could tell when heartbreak is coming? Many people do, simply so that they could better prepare for the possibility. While in real life there is no way to predict the future, there are still definitely ways to find out what people are thinking without even having to ask them. Body language, the way they communicate, and even their daily habits can help you figure out if someone is about to leave your life for good. How can you get better at identifying these clues? Stick around for the entire video and find out! Number 10. They bring up potential futures that don't seem to involve you. Human beings are hopeful by nature, and most of us think about our future more than we do our past. When it comes to relationships and even friendships, this definitely still applies, and is a big part of the reason why relationships become serious when those potential futures are revealed. In a healthy relationship, your partner will probably try to include you in their vision, sharing possible places you want to go to or live in, what kinds of careers you may find, and that sort of thing. But when a relationship becomes rocky, it becomes harder for an individual to picture a world where you are both happy and together. As a result, when they speak about their future, they may start to use more I statements and may start to plot a course that you have no part in. Number 9, you don't feel appreciation from them. Not every sign is going to be something the other person does to you. This one, for example, may be more about your needs and wants than their actions. When a relationship is healthy, you may feel happier more often and listened to as well. These feelings pop up because you are feeling appreciated or valued by your partner, and it helps to show a bond and a certain level of trust between the two of you. When a relationship sours, or if things aren't going as well, you may start to feel that level of trust disintegrate a little, and it can result in a bunch of reactions from them, one of which is to pull away, or to put less of their focus on the relationship in an effort to avoid confronting its issues. People who experience this feeling before a breakup can often feel as if it came out of nowhere. And that's because to them it did. Even the best of relationships can go through rough spots. But if your partner isn't communicating their issues with you, it can feel like things got bad before you even had a chance to fix them. Number 8, they are unwilling to own their anger or resentment. If you have known a person for a long time, you really get to learn things about them that almost no one else knows. Relationships can gain a level of trust because of this, but it can also come with its own set of issues too. If you or the other person are unable to grow from your mistakes, it can become frustrating to have someone in your life who can see that as well. Sometimes, people going through this will lash out in anger against their partner. For example, leaving for extended periods of time after an argument. When they return, they don't acknowledge the outburst, then they are in a way holding your emotions against you. This decision is pretty spiteful as they want to hurt you as much as they feel they were, and it often leads to a messy conclusion. If you don't spot this sign early, it can be easy to be sucked into a pretty antagonistic situation. Number 7, they threaten to leave. One of the worst things that you can do in a relationship is threaten to leave. Giving a person who isn't fulfilling their obligation as a friend or partner an ultimatum is perfectly fine, but threatening to leave gives a sudden sense of urgency and fear that can often hurt the person being asked to change. If a person is using leaving to get you to do something, you already know where they stand. A person holding that over you implies that they don't care much about the relationship in the first place, and you probably shouldn't go along with their demands. If you want to have a healthy relationship, you should be honest about your expectations from the start, and let them know that they need to pick things up for the relationship to work. But threatening to leave is another step entirely, and doesn't usually end well for the relationship. Look for them to leave soon if this is happening. Number 6, they begin to hang out with new people they don't want you to meet. People are social by nature and like to create networks of friends, family, and other close people. They enjoy connecting different people together too. And if you aren't a part of that dynamic, you probably aren't very important to them anymore. If your friend or partner keeps rejecting your request to meet their new friends, then you should be pretty concerned. This not only could be a sign that they are potentially cheating on you, it could also mean that they don't consider you a part of their future plans. Overall, this is a pretty definite sign that things aren't going well in a relationship. And if they don't have an explanation for the sudden distance, you have a problem on your hands. By the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. Number 5, they're always busy. There's an old saying that if a person wanted to make time, they would. That sentiment holds true here as well, since a person's schedule largely reflects where their interests lie. If a person no longer makes time for you, or if they are suddenly coming up with a whole lot of excuses why they can't see you, then you are experiencing a person closing off from you. A person normally does this kind of thing if they are planning on walling you off from their life. And if you want to do anything about it, you probably have to have a talk with them soon. A person will always make times for the things they enjoy. And if that's you, then they should have time to see you. If they have a reason for their suddenly full schedule, then that's a whole other story. But usually a person will warn you if they're going to suddenly get busy, not just cut ties out of nowhere. Number 4, they stop speaking about their needs. Sometimes, if a person is really withdrawn from the relationship, they will just kind of shut down. This may or may not mean that they begin to speak less, but it will be more identifiable in another place. A person who is checked out of the relationship will begin to stop mentioning their needs, as they no longer consider the relationship a long-term solution. For example, they would not need to discuss getting a new table or lamp if they plan on leaving. Usually, if you start to notice this, it means that they are pretty closed off from the relationship and may feel very sure of their decision. Confronting them may help bring up the conversation sooner, but this reaction tends to reflect some very serious feelings on their end. Number 3, their family or friends don't like your relationship. If a person has a good relationship with their family, it means they definitely reflect most of their feelings. There are tons of cases of relationships that have ended because a person's family didn't support the decision, or because their friends didn't approve of the choice. If a person's family once liked you, but has since turned on you, and your partner won't tell you why, you probably have your answer. If a person with a close relationship to their family thought it could be fixed, they probably would have told you a reason for the sudden coldness. And so it's safe to assume they don't think there is an easy fix. Another possibility here is that the person has said bad things to the family, and that has turned them against you. At the end of the day, it means that things are soured, and you should be ready for some friction pretty soon. Number 2, they are no longer kind. There is a big difference between being nice and being a good partner. Kindness is something that good partners are able to provide, and it is way more than the bare minimum. If you feel like your partner or even your friend is no longer going out of their way to be good to you, you have a problem. People who want you in their life will go out of their way to prove it to you, and they will do the little things too. Laughing at your jokes, doing small favors, and just genuinely being there for you are examples of kind behavior. If this person no longer fits the bill, then they may not be thinking of the long haul with you anymore. Number 1, they don't tell you the details. A great way to judge compatibility and sustainability is by looking at how you both react to details of the person's life. Things like what their office drama is, what shows they are watching, or if they miss you are all indicators of a big issue. People like to share the things they like and think about those they view important. If they no longer want to include you in that, they probably don't value you as much as they once did. This is a very subtle clue, but an important one, since it usually means that something isn't working. And if you like this video, then check out these related videos to see more. And make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying I subscribed, and we will personally reply to your comment.